Good evening, friends. Welcome to our weekly contemplative prayer session. So grateful to be with you tonight, or whenever it is that you're tuning in. These sessions provide us opportunity to tap into the deep well of contemplative prayer, meditation, and silence. As you're settling in, I invite you to find a comfortable place to sit. I'm sitting cross-legged on a cushion on the carpet. Hands are rested comfortably in my lap. Back is straight. And once you're comfortable, I invite you to take a deep breath in and exhale. Breathing in and breathing out. Our session tonight is going to focus on opening to the senses, and we'll be reading a selection from the Buddhist teacher Tarthang Tulku. And he talks about each of us trying to get the most out of our human experience, and in many ways we experience the world through our senses. And so we lean into those things which can provide an exciting experience, whether it's through touch or taste or smell or hearing or visual. And when we're not tuned in to ourselves and to our bodies, to our minds and our hearts, we don't appreciate what our senses experience and communicate to us. And so we drift from one experience to the next, and we lean extra hard into some, wanting the experience to be more powerful the next time and more powerful the next time. And you can see where this can lead in our lives. And we might want more and more of something that can lead us to an unhealthy place. But Tulku notes that if instead we, through the practice of mindfulness, get in touch with our senses, that we can appreciate even the small things, even the little things, even the slight things, and can derive enormous pleasure from them, and yet remain in a more balanced place, more in touch with ourselves. So I hope this is helpful. I'll be reading a selection from his book, Openness Mind by Tarthang Tulku. Again, I invite you to get into a comfortable position before I begin the reading. Perhaps you'll want to close your eyes. It's up to you. Some of you are tuning into the audio only, so there's not much to see anyway. Get into a comfortable place. Take a deep breath. Exhale. And after I ring the bell, I'll begin our reading. Instead of having confidence within ourselves, we constantly look outside ourselves for approval and fulfillment. Even when we are continually disappointed, we keep on searching for and grasping after happiness. We entertain ourselves with parties, drinking, sex, coffee, cigarettes, or whatever. But these pleasures are only temporarily satisfying, like trying to live on spun sugar. Tulku writes, such external pleasures can only lead to an endless cycle of wanting. They are really like poison oak. When we scratch, we relieve the itching sensation temporarily, but the poison ends up spreading over our entire body. Genuine satisfaction is found only within our hearts, wherein lie peace and a subtle, ecstatic beauty. There, by integrating our body, mind, and senses, we can establish an inner balance and harmony. This inner balance then stays with us in everything we do. Our problems are in our heads and hearts, and the solutions to our problems are there as well. Our problems arise because we do not let our hearts and heads work well together. It is as if they lived in two different worlds. They do not communicate with each other or meet each other's needs. And when the body and the mind are not sensitive to each other, there can be no real basis for satisfaction. The bridge between the body and the mind is provided by the senses, some of which are related more closely to the body, some to the mind. Because of this overlap, the senses have the potential to help the body and mind work together naturally. We usually pass from one experience to another before we know what we are feeling. We are barely able to sense what we experience. We do not give our senses time to develop an experience or allow our minds and bodies to integrate our feelings. Our senses are filters through which we perceive our world. When they are dulled, we cannot experience the richness of life or approach true happiness. In order to touch our senses, we have to contact the feelings of our experience. We need to slow down to hear and feel the tones and vibrations our feelings and senses are trying to communicate to us. Then we can learn how to touch, roughly touch, gently touch. Each sense has physical qualities, but we are often not fully aware of them. We can begin to increase our awareness of our senses by learning to relax and be more open. In fact, our senses are nourished when we become quiet and relaxed. We can experience each sense savoring its essence. As different organisms have different structures, so too the senses. There are various layers in our experience of them, layers to be revealed when we are relaxed, unhurried, and attentive. Meditation, which encourages us to develop a listening, live quality, provides us with a way to explore these layers. Using the tools of mindfulness and concentration, we can learn to root out tenseness and let our energy flow through the whole body. Doesn't that sound good? Doesn't that sound like what you want? I love this. He notes genuine relaxation is more than having a good time or simply resting. It means going beyond the physical form and opening all the senses completely. We can encourage this openness and relaxation by visualizing vast, open space. By thinking of all external objects as well as our bodies as being part of this space, all within the immediate moment. Finally, no barriers remain. What is left is a higher awareness, alive and healing, which gives us warmth and nourishment. We can remain within this space, within this awareness, as long as we like, not needing to focus or hold our attention on anything. All we need to bring to meditation is ourselves, for our bodies and our minds are the foundation of meditation. Breath, which is like a coordinator of body and mind, is the essence of being that integrates them. As we meditate, breathing becomes quiet and regular. The body relaxes, and the total energy of body and mind comes alive. This encourages a positive mental attitude, for when the body and breath are stable, it is easier to relax the mind and calm the emotions. So let me just pause for a moment in the reading there and check in. I hope this is connecting for you at some level. I hope that even listening to these words is tapping into something for you, creating that space in which you can slow down, in which you can be present and bridge that connection between mind and body that Tulku talks about. It's so good to make time for this kind of spiritual formation, I believe, spiritual development. Silence, mindfulness, practicing being in the present moment. All of these things help us be more in touch with ourselves, what's happening in our lives. It's easy to live on the surface and sometimes feel safer, frankly. Because when we go under the surface, we don't always find things we like. But if we want to be more whole, more integrated beings, we have got to go beneath the surface. And even if there's pain and wounds there, when we touch those with gentleness, with openness, with light, healing is possible and we become more whole beings. Let's continue. It is useful to consider the body as the anchor for the senses and the mind. They are all interrelated. Feel your entire physical body. Allow your breathing to become relaxed and quiet. When your body and breath become very still, you may feel a very light sensation. almost like flying, which carries with it a fresh, alive quality. Open all your cells, even all the molecules that make up your body, unfolding them like petals. Hold nothing back. Open more than your heart. Open your entire body, every atom of it. Then a beautiful experience can arise that has a quality you can come back to again and again, a quality that will heal and sustain you. Once you touch your inner nature in this way, everything becomes silent. Your body and mind merge in pure energy. You become truly integrated. Tremendous benefits flow from that unity, including great joy and sensitivity. The energy flowing from this openness heals and nourishes the senses. They fill with sensation, opening like flowers. When our minds and bodies become one, we can understand silence and emptiness. We know satisfaction because our lives are balanced. The roots of our tension are cut, so our inner conflict ceases. We become very peaceful and fulfilled. The more we explore the intensifying of the senses, the more we find a great depth within our feelings. Sensations become richer, textured with subtle nuances, more deeply joyful. We do not have to learn exotic techniques to enrich our lives. Thank goodness for that. Once we contact this heightened feeling within ourselves, it carries us through our daily lives, walking, working, doing any activity. Daily practice means only that we keep on making an effort to continue developing our inner balance as much as we can, wherever we are, in whatever we are doing. I love that invitation. Right? Spiritual practice can happen at any moment, at any time in our lives. When you're waiting in line at the grocery store, when you're stuck in traffic, when you're waiting to pick up your kid from school, when a website won't load that you need to load. At any moment, we can practice mindfulness. And gradually we incorporate this feeling into our thoughts and awareness. It is a kind of spice, Tulku says, that gives our lives flavor. Our mind, body, and senses become very alive, as if they possessed a natural intelligence of their own. Even physiological changes can take place. So enjoy this aliveness in which every moment is like a new birth. Appreciate it and have confidence. Within the open space of meditation, we can find infinite joy and perfect bliss. We begin to experience a new kind of honesty, a vital energy that comes from real understanding of ourselves, from being genuinely direct and open. This is a dynamic living process extending far deeper than externals. Once we discover this spirit of vitality, which is the essence of awareness, we find that our bodies actually become a channel through which we are capable of contacting a higher level of awareness within ourselves. Although we may still have problems in our lives, we will be fortified against disappointments by our inner joy and strength. We know that our inner beauty and guidance cannot be lost through the actions and attitudes of others. Relying on ourselves through more intimate knowledge of our inner nature is a strong foundation, a real source of nourishment and lasting happiness. Good stuff there. And he closes with this. Learning in this way is artistic and beautiful, enabling us to achieve a balance of body and mind, to live in harmony with others, and to bring more meaning to our lives at every level. When we live in this way, the results are reflected not only in our own lives, but in the world as well. Again, a selection on opening the senses from Openness Mind by Tarthang Tulku. It was good to be with you, friends, for this time. If you'd like to find more meditations, you can go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/HollandUCC. You can search for us on YouTube, or you can catch the audio on our podcast on various podcast apps. Friends, may these thoughts and these practices be with you in the days and weeks ahead. And I look forward to connecting with you again next week. Good night.